Hey up folks, welcome to Sonofdel's live vlog, Vlogmas day 9. Oof, man, these days are flying. Now on my vlog today, first of all, straighten me out. On my vlog today, I've got the advent calendars for day 9. It's a nice character, simple build one for me today. We've also got the builds from yesterday, and also the builds for today as well, obviously. And also I'm just going to be having a bit of a talk about not so much what happened today, but what I've heard today more than anything. So coming up first, got the advent calendars day 9. Enjoy.
It's advent time, yeah. Are you going to take it from me again? Yes, give it to Dad.
Not this time.
I didn't go long enough.
Oh. You're a bit strange, aren't you? You're a bit strange. You're a bit strange. You're a bit strange. Yeah. Ew. That was nasty. Dog slobber. Tonsillectomy again. Thank you. Done this? Are you sure? Definitely. I want one. Good girl! Excellent! I want one.
This one. Ask me fingers. Okay, paw. Ta. Gentle.
Ow.
I didn't want my fingers anyway. All gone.
All gone.
All gone.
All gone. That's it. Day 9 of the Lego calendar. Yesterday's was flame grilled chicken, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. 9. It's a character. It's a character. It is when I can get my fingers in. Hang on. It's a character. Wearing a Christmas pullover. That's funny. That's funny. I'm going to have to watch that holiday special just to see what this is all about. In case people didn't know, by the way, the Lego Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is on Disney Plus, and I'm going to be watching it so I know what all this lot links to. Door 9 on the Gibson's Jigsaw, and yesterday's was another gingerbread man, which you'll see later in my vlog. Door 9. No idea. Don't know what shape it's going to be. I think that's the fascinating thing about these. You don't know what shape they're going to be, and as you're putting them together, sometimes you can fit all most of the pieces together and you still don't know what shape it's going to be. So that's a cool one. Right, today, well, I've heard some really strange stuff today, to be honest with you, really, really strange. And I just wanted to have a talk today about basically things that I know people go through, but they don't need to. I'll just explain what I mean by that. I see a lot of posts from different people, from men, women, all sorts, who are basically in relationships and they don't want to be, if you know what I mean. They're not happy. They're not happy. And a lot of them staying in these relationships because they don't want to be on their own. That's the basis of it. They don't think they could basically cope on their own. They're that used to having somebody with them all the time. Now, the problem you've got with that is you're with somebody for the wrong reason. If you're with somebody, and if you're married, if you're engaged, if you're just going out as boyfriend and girlfriend, at no point in that relationship do you own that person, or does that person own you, should I say. It doesn't matter. You don't. There's no, oh, I can tell you what to do, who to see, what to spend your money on, how to do this, how to do that. That is not how it should be. If you're in a relationship where basically you're being told everything you should do, who you should have as friends, who you shouldn't have as friends, who you're allowed to speak to and who you're not, then I'm sorry, but they abolished slavery years ago, didn't they? I've read so many stories on the internet about people who basically put up with this sort of thing. You don't have to put up with this sort of thing. You really don't, honestly. I mean, I know I've mentioned it before, but my case is a case in fact. I was with a woman who treated me like a punch bag, who literally, her pleasure was beating me, was hitting me, making me feel humiliated, taking all the money, telling me who I could speak to, who I couldn't speak to, who I was allowed to be friends with, who I wasn't. And because of that, I lost a lot of my friends. I lost a lot of people who I used to hang about with. And then one day I suddenly decided, no, hang on a minute, I'm worth more than that. And I just thought, what's the point of being in a relationship like that? Because I feel like I'm a slave. I didn't feel like I was human at all. I just felt like I was just a punch bag. And then literally I was getting up each morning and dreading what the day was going to bring. And you can't live in a relationship like that. I'm sorry, but you can't. You can try and see how it goes. Don't get me wrong, you don't just give up straight away. But if it's persistent and you think to yourself, no, hang on a minute, this is just going on and on and on and on and on now, and it shouldn't be. And you're dead right, it shouldn't be. So you are going to find somebody who treats you like you deserve to be treated. And if you treat people that way, if you treat people that bad, that that you are on the other side of this, you're the one doing the treating like that, that person will one day wake up and walk out on you. They will realise that you are treating them dreadfully, and they will walk out on you. I did it with my wife. I did it with my first wife. I did exactly that. One day she went to work, and while she was gone, I'd arranged to go and have all my stuff moved down to my mum's. And the reason I did that wasn't because I'm a coward. It's not because I'm a coward. It's not because, oh God, I'm scared. I was actually terrified of her, because I had a feeling that if I'd have told her I was leaving, she would have killed me. And I don't mean killed me as in battered, moaned at me. I'm on about physically killed me. She wouldn't have let me leave the house. She proved that because when I got a phone call from her, when she realised what was going on, she said the rest of my stuff was outside the house. So I went down, and the one thing I'd forgot to take with me was a new jacket, what I'd had, a proper decent leather jacket. And when I got to the door, all my stuff was outside. She'd thrown it all on the lawn outside. It was covered in mud and all sorts. But when she opened the door, she got my jacket on. And I said to her, can I have my jacket back? And she said, if you want it, you'll have to come in the house and get it. And I thought, oh God, no. And I went in, and I said to her, look, I'm just going to check, see if I've got all my other stuff. And I went upstairs and I went in the bathroom, and I was checking, see if I've got all my stuff, what was mine, out the bathroom, electric shaver, that kind of thing. And I walked in, and as I was looking to see if I got everything, as I turned around, she was standing in the doorway, and she blocked the doorway. And she said to me, I'm really sorry, I want you back, blah, 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 all this sort of spiel. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble here. Because I couldn't get past her. She was blocking the doorway. I mean, there wasn't much of her. She was only like 5'2". But when she was in one of her, she was strong. She was really strong. And I thought, I'm going to have to pull her fast on here. I don't know what I'm going to do. And anyway, so she started taking the jacket off, and she just put it down And then she moved towards me, and I thought, she's going to kill me or something daft like this. So I did something, and I thought at the time it was stupid, but it wasn't. It was quite brave what I did. I leaned down to her, and she leaned up to me, and she kissed me, and I kissed her. And I picked her up physically, and put her in the bath. Literally, I got her in my arms and put her in the bath. And then I grabbed my jacket and got down those stairs so fast before she could come out of the bathroom. And by the time she was actually out of the bathroom and down the stairs, I was in the van and gone. I was just about to go out the driveway, and she was shouting curses and horrible stuff at me, and you would not believe the stuff she was shouting at me. But I decided, you know, I wasn't going back to that. I deserved better than that. And now look at me. I'm in a relationship I've been in now for 22 years. And we've been married for 8. You know. And to be honest with you, it's a totally different life. It's a totally different life. So I'm saying to you out there, don't put up with it. Don't put up with it. You can do better. And also, if you're the one doing the abusing, just remember that person will twit one day, mate, and they will walk out on you. And when they do, you won't be able to say anybody's to blame. If you want somebody to be in a serious relationship with you, treat them better. Give them a bit of freedom if they need a bit of freedom. I'm not saying if they say, oh, well, I won't go out with another woman, but if they're with you, you know, when you're a woman, like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, well, don't tell them which male friends they can have. And, you know, if you've been talking to some woman for years and years and they've been friends for like 20, 30 years, don't think that just because you're in a relationship with them, they've suddenly got to stop talking to that friend. Because I've got a female friend who I've been talking to for years. And I've known it only a few years less than Deb. And everybody went, it was funny because when she first was going to move up with us in Blackpool, and I told people that she was staying with me and Deb, they were all going, oh, hang on a minute, that's a bit dodgy, isn't it? You know, having a female friend staying, what do you think about, what does Deb think about that? I said, Deb's fine with it. I said, it's me who should be worried. And they were like, what do you mean, you should be worried? I was like, oh, you don't get it, do you? I said, she isn't straight. I said, she's lesbian. Oh, I get you. And it's like, oh, right, so if she wasn't, you think Deb should have been worried then? You think I was going to, like, cheat on Deb with her or something? It's like, man, you know. So, like I say, my advice is, if you're in one of these relationships, get out. You can do better. Now, I heard something today which made me laugh and cringe in equal measurements. Now, I've grown up, right, I'm 50 years old now, right, I've grown up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, right, and I've never known such a country be so wet. I've never known a country be so wet. And what brought that to a head today was I saw an announcement from the government that they're going to make street harassment a crime. Now, I thought that's fair enough if you get harassed in the street. I think, you know, thinking it meant people like beggars who were asking you for money, or charity people who just used to stop you and ask you if you wanted to give a donation. No, they're not about that. They're on about things like wolf whistling. So if you see, I'm seeing women do this, remember, so don't women start having a go at me or nothing. A group of men or a group of women standing there, one of the opposite sex walks past, they go, you know, wolf whistle. That's now going to be a crime. Now, I thought, okay, fair enough, that's bad enough. But then when I heard the next part, I was almost crying with laughter at the stupidity of it. You can now be had if you stare at somebody too long in the street. So if you're sitting outside a cafe and you're staring at somebody or looking at somebody and they think you're looking at them too long, you can get done for that now. You can't stare at people no more. Now, have you ever thought that that person might have like a lazy eye, where like you think they're looking at you, but they're not, they're looking at someone else? Can you imagine how many false accusations there's going to be to the police, especially with this, with the generation that's growing up now? They're going to absolutely love this. They're going to dive at every opportunity to stop somebody from looking at them. And I just think it's ridiculous. I really do think it's ridiculous. Yes, the street harassment, I do agree with that, because I've been harassed in the street before now, but it's usually by people with like collecting tins. People stopping you and saying, oh, could you want to do such and such, or what have you thought of doing this, or what about that? That's I class as harassment. I don't class, if I'm walking past and some girl looks at me, I smile back, whatever. Young, old, it doesn't matter. If somebody smiles at me, I smile back. It's not harassment. If they stare at me, then I think, okay, what are you staring at? You know, I don't know what you're staring at, but you might be staring at something and thinking, oh, you know, I like his coat, it's really cool. I don't know whether to ask him where he had it from. How are you going to know if somebody's not doing that? Or they might do, I mean, I've done it before where I've looked at somebody and I've carried on looking at them and I've thought, I know you, it's doing me nothing now, I know you from somewhere. And I've looked again and I've thought, yeah, I know, man. And the longer I look down, the more memories come back into my head and I might go, that's who it is. Yeah, of course it is. You know, and then I'm thinking, right, it's somebody I knew. But how many times are the police going to get called to people saying this person was staring at me and then find out that it was completely innocent? And for every 1,000 that they might get calls, you probably get 10 that are legitimate. Now, I'm not saying them 10 don't deserve to be something done about them, but haven't we got less police resources than we've ever had? Do you think they're going to be able to spend the time investigating every single time somebody says they've been stared at? It's impossible. It's impossible. You go down the street on any day, if I go down my local Blackpool town centre, within the space of walking 50 yards, there's about 10 people or 20 people staring at me. You know, I don't think, oh my God, there's something wrong there, they're a psycho killer, or, oh dear, I must do something about this to stop them looking. You know, I think it's taking it too far. It's going too far now. You know, it's going to be, I mean, wolf whistling. Fair enough, I can understand that. You know, if it gets on your wick and you're fed up of it, it's going on and on and on and on and on. But I've heard of groups of women where men have walked past, go, whoa, and give a wolf whistle like that. And I've thought, yeah, I bet the bloke hasn't gone, oh, I'm going to complain about that. He's just walked on his business, you know, he's whatever. I mean, obviously people might say, oh, hang on, women might whistle at women. You know, not everybody is a woman to man person at the end of the day. I've seen groups of women before and thought, you know, yeah, fair enough, whatever. And then a woman's walked past and they've all been looking at her and wolf, you know, whistling, and you think, okay, fair enough, each to their own, whatever. You know, it's taking it too far. I'm sorry, government, but come on. Put more money into policing, yeah, but serious crimes, will you? Proper serious crimes. All they seem to be bothered about now is like antisocial behaviour and then coming up with new laws for crimes that aren't really crimes if you think about it. I'm sorry, but I don't see wolf whistling as a crime. I see it as a nuisance and people can report it, but you can face up to 2 years if you get convicted of these crimes. So you could wolf whistle at a woman in the street, she report it, and if it gets to the court, you could get 2 years in prison. I tell you, the world's gone demented. It's gone absolutely mad. Right, what have I done today? Nothing. Reason being, it has been freezing here the last few days. And looking at the temperatures for the next 6 or 7 days, we've got even more of it to come. Even more freezing cold weather and bloody ice and -6s and -5s. And I've said before in my other vlog, we don't do them sorts of temperatures in this country because we're not used to them. We're used to, I mean, normally at this time of year, we've had it at this time of year where it's been 10 degrees, 11 degrees. You know, and we're averaging about 3 to 4 degrees, which tells me that God knows what January and February are going to be like, because they are the worst months in the UK. They are usually when it reaches -1, -2. But next week we have actually got -5s and -6s. And I'm sorry, but we can't do that kind of temperature. And it might be alright for you young ones. I said it to my sister this morning. Young ones, 19, 20, you know, 18, 19, 20, whatever. They go out in -5, -6. They don't mind about it. They'll walk about in it. They'll mess about with the mates. Some of them will even be daft enough to wear t-shirts, for crying out loud. When you get older, you start suddenly thinking, hang on a minute, that -6 feels like -20. So 0 degrees feels like -5, and you do feel it in your joints, you feel it in your fingers, you feel it in your feet, you feel it in your shoulders, your neck, your knees. I mean, I know people who've got nothing wrong with them whatsoever, but the minute the ice cold hits, the knees go. The knees literally lock up, or they've got severe pain in them. You know, and these are people who, in the summer, they'll like walk 10 miles, do you know what I mean? But winter comes and it's a totally different ball game. So all we've basically been doing is staying warm. Now, of course, at the moment, people are worried about the gas and electricity bills. Now, we've actually turned around and said, as far as we're concerned, we will make do without a lot of stuff, right? But the one thing we won't do is freeze for the sake of the fact that the money's gone up. because I'm not freezing to death. I can't do it anyway because of my conditions. The cold affects me really badly. It really does. It numbs areas you don't even want to know about, and it makes you feel really, really low on energy, really low on energy. You don't want to move, because you know as soon as you move you're going to get cold again. You've just got yourself warm with a nice hot drink, and it's bad enough when you have to stand up to go to the bathroom and you think, oh no, I'm freezing again the minute you stand up. So, you know, but yeah, that's been my day today, to be honest with you. It's been a nice quiet one, but it's also been a bloody freezing cold one. Hopefully tomorrow I am hoping, when I'm in my vlog, to do a year quiz where I will ask you questions and say what year, basically to do with Christmas. So all to do with Christmas but years. I'm hoping to do it tomorrow. If I don't do it tomorrow, it'll be Sunday. Anyway, coming up, I've got my builds from the day before, no, from yesterday, my completed jigsaw and my completed figure, which was really cool in the Lego. You're going to love it. And I've also got my builds which I had today, which I will be doing in a few minutes. Other than that, there might be a little bit of footage of the dog, because she's been at her usual daft self. And then I will do another vlog tomorrow when we will be on double figures and we will be on Vlogmas Day 10. You all take care, thank you for watching, and bye for now.